and in today's episode I am going to talk about spring equinox on the 20th of March, and the next day we have the new moon in Aries, and that's one of 2 new moons in Aries this year, so that's really exciting. And I'm going to show you what that really means in terms of the astros and the planetary alignments. We've got some big major astrological shifts. We've just had Saturn move into Pisces, and a few days after the new moon, Pluto is moving from its many years in Capricorn into Aquarius. It's been in Capricorn since 2008. So I'm going to share energy guidance, some channel messages, some oracle messages, and some journal prompts, and how you can get the most out of this spring equinox portal, what it means, and this new moon in Aries, and this abundant new fresh start of the astrological new year. So before I get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. We're Divine Feminines on YouTube and all major podcast platforms. That's Apple, Spotify, Google, and we're also on Instagram and TikTok, and that's Divine Feminines with a Z at the end. Why like and subscribe to this channel? Well, there's something for everyone, whether you like the moon and you want to manifest with the moon and understand the astros. I also share energy portal guidance and mind, body and soul empowerment, really to help you self-master on your journey here on earth and to evolve, as your soul is here to grow and to create. So why wouldn't you want to subscribe? Anyway, so thank you to everyone that's been supporting. I'm truly grateful for all of you guys. Welcome, and big warm welcome back to our regular listeners, and anyone new, welcome, and thank you for joining the Soul Tribe. I hope that this is a valuable platform and channel for you to get some insight and to feel part of this group. We're a digital group, but there's very much a big presence of love, compassion, light and good vibes here. So let me first talk about the spring equinox. That takes place on Monday the 20th of March, and this is reflective of the Northern Hemisphere. So my Europeans, you'll understand that it's turning into spring. And equinox is actually Latin, equi meaning equal and nox meaning night. So it's an equality between night and day. And it's usually what that means is when an equinox happens, the difference between night and day is pretty much 50-50, near about. So that's exactly what you'll expect around an equinox. And in summer we have the summer equinox, and that's always seen as also the longest day of the year too. The spring equinox is very much the marking of the new beginning of spring, where the scientists and guides always say that the 1st of March is the beginning of spring, but actually the spring equinox is really the true start of spring. And I've said this before, when we had January and we had the new year, yes, we were sort of calling in, you know, the new and setting intentions, but I really made it clear that if that doesn't resonate for you, because really it's winter, it's a time of hibernation, it's a time of like just looking after yourself and planting those ideas, reflecting. We were in a lot of retrograde energy at the time. Now everything's gone direct, and I'm just going to mention that a bit. It's gone direct for a good couple of months now, so we'll be direct until the 21st of April. And so there's some fast moving energy that will help us propel our new starts and new beginnings. But the spring equinox is a fantastic representation and symbolism of a new year. And that is coupled with the beginning of the astrological new year, with our first sign of the zodiac, Aries, kicking it off the next day. So there's a supercharged energy here. There's a supercharged portal from this spring equinox with the new moon in Aries. And what does that mean exactly? Well, now's the time to really come out of hibernation, start to get out there, start to drive your ideas. If you've got some intentions, you've been planting seeds, you may find that a lot of things that you have been working on in the background are starting to show fruition. And in this new moon energy as well, you can really align some of those goals with new intentions of how you're going to propel and materialize them further. Because in all manifestation, and I've said this many times, that we need to play with the energies of masculine and feminine in order to co-create. There is the sense of doing. We can't just sit on our bums and expect everything to happen for us, because that doesn't happen in life. But we can't keep doing till the point of exhaustion. That's very much a distorted feminine aspect, and very much the toxic masculinity that's happened in the hundreds of years of patriarchy and the way society has gone in sort of the wrong direction, let's say. So with this, we are given the opportunity to make some moves, make a plan, take some steps forward, take action, but also know when to just kind of let it be. So you might have taken a few steps of action and you've let it be. Now, in these last couple of months, you might have really felt they've been hibernating, especially in Europe. There's been lots of snow, and that wasn't a coincidence. That was really the reset before this new spring. And you're like, wait a minute, it's March and it's snowing? Crazy, right? It's funny for me because the last time I think it snowed in March was when my mum passed away, and it's 10 years from that day. So I was like, wow, this is quite symbolic. So really use the spring equinox as a day to really set intentions, journal. You probably know your wishes and your dreams off by heart, but be specific. Start to get detailed. Ask yourself, what does this mean? If like, oh, I want this new business, and I want it to be, you know, a holistic therapy or healing offering and services. Well, what does that mean? What are you going to offer? How does that look? Start to kind of build some blocks. That's the masculine energy part of it. The feminine part of it, of this manifestation, and of really using this portal and the new moon energy, because it's super powerful, especially right now. We've just had Saturn go into Pisces. That's a major shift. We're given more liberation now in our Aquarius energy to be more free and to be what we want to be and do what we want to do. And Pisces is going to bring in more stronger regiment in our intuition. So really use this time to meditate. Use this time to really go deep, to reflect, to spend time, whether that's doing some yoga, going on a walking meditation, or just sitting in silence. Maybe you're preparing a recipe and that's kind of a meditative exercise. Anything that's kind of very much keeps you in your presence. But if you can be still, that's the ultimate win. Because like I said, when you're doing those, it's taking those steps, and there's a little beetle here that wants to be with me on the table. So I did try to tell him to go, but he wants to be here. So hey, you can listen to these messages. Let me check what the meaning of beetle is afterwards. And he's decided to climb up on top of the oracle box. He wants to be part of the cosmic journey, and those are the cards I'm going to pull in a bit. But yes, like I said, and he's climbing up. Oh my goodness, he's climbing up the phone stand. Well, he couldn't make it. Seems as though it wasn't going to do the trick. Anyway, let me stop digressing. So, as I said, allow yourself to be still if you can. Block. The stillness is so powerful because you don't think of anything. You're emptying all your thoughts. Things come to you, don't pretend that they didn't. Acknowledge them and let them go. Let them come, let them go. Just keep doing that till nothing comes, and then try to sit still and be with yourself. And that is going to create more space. This is the way to create more space. This is the way to create this openness. This is the way to actually activate your own portal, because you are a portal yourself. So in activating your own portal, and you've got this spring equinox portal with the new moon energy, you're then being able to kind of wrap around that and really, call in what you need, because the universe is here to co-conspire, co-create with you. So that is the spring equinox energy. What I would advise is the energy is going to be potent a few days before, and it will continue. So anywhere from sort of like the 17th, 18th of March, all the way to sort of the 23rd, 24th of March. It's going to be a very powerful time. The 23rd of March, so we've got spring equinox 20th, then we've got the new moon in Aries, 21st. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. And then the 23rd of March, we've got Pluto moving into Aquarius, and this is powerful. Pluto, the planet of transformation, of death and rebirth, of really cleansing, of big major change, of destruction for the better, right? Now, it's been in Capricorn since 2008. So ask yourself, look back to 2008. I was looking back to 2008. I was like, wow, this is like a long time ago for me. I was a young girl. I didn't know as much as I knew now, and I'm sure a lot of you will say that about your own journeys. I was I remember, it was early years into my career. I was living at home, so ask yourself where you were then, what was your mindset then? And it was in a Capricorn being the place of institution, of structure, of regiment, very much, institution, contracts, work, family, all of that kind of energy. So ask yourself, what was it like back then in 2008, and what have you learned in all of this time? And it's a great time to also journal that and identify with the things and the transformations you've made, because that's a good 15 years, right? Almost 15 years. So a lot can happen in 15 years. You can go through many deaths and rebirths. Many of you probably have gone through spiritual awakenings and maybe several dark nights of the soul, encouraging you to evolve and self-master even more and more. Many of you may have had home moves, deaths, illnesses in the family, maybe your own potential health challenges, separations, divorces, had a new baby, grown your family, got married. A lot can happen in that time. So make sure you kind of take some steps to understand these last 15 years. And now as we propel into the shift into Aquarius, a lot of the work that you did in those 15 years when Pluto was in Capricorn that you allowed yourself to transform on, the blessings are going to come in. They're going to come in into this next period. As it moves into Aquarius, it will go do a bit of a back and forth, because there will be a Pluto retrograde in a couple of months after that will retrograde into Capricorn. But you'll start to see remnants of the work and the efforts that you've had over the 15 years start to shift and show you signs. You may have already been seeing that. I definitely can be witness to many transformational benefits and outcomes, byproducts, great byproducts and results from a lot of shifts and change in the areas of stability, higher, that Capricornic energy, work, marriage, institutional ways of thinking, especially in belief systems as well. So take some time to think about that. And in this Pluto and Aquarius energy, this is a really transformative time for humanity. You may have already noticed things transforming, things crumbling, because humanity is starting to transform on a big level. So some of you are, sort of more mature on the wave, and some of you are newer adopters, some of you are early adopters, some of you are just more recent in terms of this progression through spirituality and self healing and connection with self, and doing that inner work and understanding your shadow. But on a larger scale, this is going to happen for humanity. And as that happens, it's not just everyone going off and doing it. Yeah, there'll be that, and there'll be a larger volume happening of this sort of collective awakening. But there's going to be bigger signs. We're going to see big shifts. This shift is a 30-year-long shift, and I truly believe that this is going to show us a lot of the new earth. And those that want to take that path will see some massive benefits and greatness, like the heaven on earth greatness, which I already feel. Genuinely, I experience and feel and see on a regular day-to-day basis, which is incredible, and I'm glad to be able to share that with you, and I want that for everyone. But we all just have to do the work and put our hands up and just really, do what we need to do for our own particular journey. Now, we're going to see a lot of humanity, a reawakening, awakening, recalling who they truly are, standing up to things that they don't believe in. And it's already happening. You may have seen some things happening in the media and stuff like that. And I'm not a big fan of the media. I'm not a big fan of like what they say and stuff like that. But there's been a few upheavals recently with major broadcast platforms, sport and things like that, where people are standing up and they're like, no, I'm not going to do this. That's not right. You can't tell me that I can't have these opinions. Why can't I think for myself? Because media and really the powers that be don't want us to have an opinion. It's even the same thing with religion. And my I don't have a disrespect to religion, but my only concern with it is it's a book. And it's like, well, here you go. And you're just going to have to understand that and follow it. And that is your guide for life. And that's not the way it works. You don't even know who wrote that. You don't even know who's adapted it, who went and tweaked it for malice. And there's a lot of things in certain religious scriptures and texts that have been adapted from the real truth. And when you start to dig more and more, you realise how much it's been adapted and why it's been adapted the way it is, because it can benefit those that are trying to control. So those that put those books out had a specific objective to gain in a specific way, and this is very much the way we've been living. So that's why I always say, stand in your truth to connect. You don't need to be religious. You don't need to follow a religion, because the main thing, the God, is inside you. The true connection is inside you. You don't need to go to a church, temple, or a mosque. It's all here. You are your own temple. As they say, the body is a temple. Why would they say things like that? Like, it's all here. Everything is here. And this is very much what a lot of humanity are going to wake up to realise. It's all here, and my truth is something that is important to me. And we're going to start to see systems and more institutions crumble, or a light be shone upon them to show the truth of who they really are, and more people realising that this is not right. So, new moon in Aries, what does it mean? Well, it's fire sign, first zodiac sign of all 12 zodiacs. So this is the new start. The Aries energy is the emperor. It's the leader. It's the I'm going to lead, I'm going to get it done. So there's a real get it done energy here. There's a real I'm going to start fresh. What is it? Ask yourself, what is it that you're going to start fresh, that you're going to lead and take real charge and ownership and speak your truth to get to where you need to get to? Because I do believe that, if we don't speak up, we're not going to get what we want. Like, no one's going to be able to second guess in our head. They're not going to, I sympathise, but I don't really feel sorry for those that think, how come they didn't understand this? But did you communicate it? How is your boss going to know that you want a promotion if you haven't been talking about the fact that you want help to get one? Or how does, your partner know that you want to go and build a business and move home if you're not really communicating how important it is? You can't expect them to second guess you. And this is where you need to take ownership. And Aries is all about that. It's ruled by Mars. It is the blood planet of go, get it done. It can be quite bossy energy, but in balance, it's not bossy. It's just it's a go-getter energy. It's getting it done. It's doing it right. This new moon is on the 21st of March, so it's 5:23 UK time, London time, and 1:23 New York, US time, Eastern time. And this is really a chance for you to really start again. Really, really start again. And with the Astros, with the shift into Saturn into Pisces, Pluto moving to Aquarius a few days later, there's a real new reset happening. It's a chance to heal your thoughts, your talk, the way you talk to yourself and what's going in your head. It's a real good time to release, heal your life. Really, there's going to be some real supportive energies to let go of those limiting beliefs and the thoughts that I can't do that, I can't do this. And especially when it's imposed by others and their projections, whether it's family or friends, because of their own fears. It's a really good time to be optimistic and get what you want. If you're in a good space, wherever this Aries new moon is in your chart, because you've got in your chart, so you've got 12 houses, wherever that is, maybe it's in the house of self, number one. And, it's all about self-image and how you show up and what that means for you and your body and everything. It's a chance to start fresh. Maybe it's a chance to really look at your health. It could be a chance for everyone to look at this like a new year. Is there things that I am too addicted to in terms of food or habits or consumption that I need to clean up? This is a time to really purge, and let go of those things so that you can allow yourself to be more focused and heal yourself more, because as the body heals, every part of you heals too. It's all interconnected. Really to start afresh. And Aries is being the first side of the zodiac. It means that we're now at the start of a new lunar cycle as well. So this is also a chance for you to think about how are you going to commit to, your rituals and your manifestation. what's interesting is the worshipping of the moon and working with the moon for thousands of years was something that was natural. People, and mainly women and some enlightened men, you know, made the magic by the light and the dark of the moon. They worked with the moon, but it was put down, it was suppressed, it was, you know, there was a real fear about the power that had, right? So everything changed, and women were, you know, who practiced the moon were put to death by flames. Imagine, they came for me and put me on the stake. Like, that's what was going on. They were named witches, and I'm sure you've seen in the olden days or whatever, old films, you know, what they were calling women witches, but really they were just working with the moon. They were working with their real divine feminine energy. And that's when things got really skewed and moved and, you know, manipulated in such a bad way. So as a result, these magical powers really went underground, and it's only now that it's starting to emerge with the divine feminine rising and re-emerging. Hence why I never really knew anything about the moon, and maybe if things hadn't been you know, suppressed and removed and seen as, you know, witchcraft, maybe in my family it would have been passed down. Maybe some of that information would have been passed down, but unfortunately a lot of ancient and indigenous areas were colonized, and with the colonization brought religion. And then it was like, right, well that's what you've got to learn now, and that's what you've got to follow. So all of these ancient traditions and rituals got put to bed. And it's only now that I'm realising, wow, there's so much there. That's actually the better way of life. That's the natural way of life. That connects with nature. That connects me to the earth. I don't need to be connected to a book, because I can be connected to this. And that for me is much more tangible and much more alive and exuberant. Like, that is true connection, because these are living organisms, the trees and the earth and the water and the air and fire. This is living and breathing just like I am, rather than the book isn't living and breathing, and I don't even know who wrote that. So there's been a lot of shifts where a lot of this great knowledge and using the magic to work with our own intuition has been frowned upon, has been scrutinized, and it's only been done that way, just like the media would scrutinize or frown upon certain behaviors or ways of doing things to control the masses. But things are changing. So if you really do feel this connection with the moon, and you're hearing what I'm saying, you're like, you know what, yeah, now this makes sense, then this new Aries new moon, dedicate some time to really say, make a promise to yourself that you will work with these new and full moons. And I've got great videos that I can help with some ideas and tell you more about what each moon cycle looks like, whether it's new or full moon, and what we can do at those moments in time. Now, some ideas for prompting, some journal prompts. I would really write down your biggest goals. I'd write the main big one and a few, maybe, 2 to 4 other goals. They might still be big, it doesn't have to be smaller, other goals, and start to put steps in of what you're going to do in the next day, next week, next month, and maybe even where you see yourself in 6 months and what you need, and then work backwards, because that's really good. Like, in 6 months I'm going to have done this and this. Be realistic with yourself, because if you're trying to manifest a brand new business, it's not going to happen overnight that you're earning 6 figures with the business in 6 months, unless, it can happen, but there are building blocks. So be realistic with the product, the services, how much you think you can project, and then work backwards from it. Because I'm not saying that you can't do that, but it has to be relative to what you're forming, and to the window of opportunity that you have to create that. And I'm going to close on this with some oracle cards, just some final channel messages for you on this new moon and equinox, spring equinox. So we've got the cosmic journey cards, which Mr. Beetlebug is just chilling right in front of me here. It's really funny. He's definitely loving this video. I will check what it means actually, and I'll let you guys know. Well, I love this. The first card is write this into reality. So this is the time to write what you want. I almost feel like visualize where you want to be and describe it in lots of detail. Describe the scene, what it looks like, colours even. This is beautiful green. which is, and a little bit of yellow there, but really, you know, abundance, prosperity, unconditional love, beautiful. Favourite colour as well, even though I'm wearing yellow today. Goes with the background, doesn't it? This is a perfect time to be writing that down. Describe the whole scene, several scenes, and work backwards, and then start to put some tangible actions against them, and that will help you. Okay, this is where I need to take action, that's where I need help, so I'll make sure I allow some space to receive, because remember I said we need to work with the masculine and feminine. Okay, I haven't got a set number of cards that I want to pull. Oh, here we go. Well, a light grows brighter only by lighting another. Wow. So what is it that you can heal or empower in a connection with someone else? This is really about, I feel like, you shining your light, but with your light shining, you know, coming out, because we've been in hibernation. Come out and really shine that light. And as you're shining that light, you're going to be able to motivate and ignite someone else's flame. And maybe their flame is there, but it's going to give them like a bigger boost, and your light will grow brighter, because, you know, like, look at this, you've got these two candles, you know, when you put two candle flames together, the flame goes even bigger. So it's literally that. By you living your purpose, shining your light, being authentic, it will empower others to stand in their light, shine their light, follow their calling, their purpose. And Pluto in Aquarius is really going to help humanity transform and find their real purpose. So some of those that haven't really felt like they found their purpose here on Earth yet will start to transform into that. And those that have might start to transform and grow further, or take different avenues and look at different routes. That's beautiful. I've never pulled those two cards ever. Not in any of my events, and not in any of the time I do it alone with myself, and not in any of the videos. So check that out. That's pretty special stuff. It's very special stuff. I've had this one before. Number 5, befriend your fear monster. 5 is for change. So what are the fears that are inside you that you think are holding you back from your true dreams and making these dreams come true? What are those fears? And befriend them. Understand what it is. Work with them, because when you do that, they're not fears anymore. And you can start to compartmentalize, you can navigate with them. Having an awareness of them is going to give you much more power, an ability to get what you really want without that getting in the way. Okay, I have had that card before, long time ago though. Oh, and this is beautiful. Your greatest joy pollinates the world. Definitely had that card again. So when you're manifesting, I always say never do it for selfish reasons, or just you want it for more money, you want materialism. You've got to be helping a lot of people as well in the process, or it having an impact on this earth. You're creating for the better of this earth. So whatever it is that you're trying to call in, ask yourself, is that going to allow me to give back and help others and help this earth to be a better place? And is it aligned to something I find is in my heart, is something I'm passionate about, is something that brings me joy? Because if it doesn't, it's not going to be aligned to your soul's journey. And, well, manifestations really truly come in big when it's aligned, right? If it's aligned to your joy and passion, then you're good to go. And I think the waves, the wind, the trees are actually agreeing, if you can hear that in the background. Some natural sounds of Gaia here in Africa. Okay, any more cards? Oh, there we go. Enter one step forward, one step onward. So this is see the full path. You don't need to see the full path, just the next step. Gosh, just the next step. Turn next. Okay, so basically, you see, this diagram is really going in swells, and the bit that I can read is you don't need to see the next step, and then it kind of goes into some further writing, but it's very hard to read, and it's really symbolic of you don't need to see the next step, you don't need to know what's coming next, but just act on where you know it feels right and it's aligned right here, right now. And obviously you have your longer term goal, but you don't need to know every single step to get there. And when I said make your visualization, you can build a vision board with that, because this is a great time for that. But when you're doing that and you're going backwards and you're trying to put some steps in place, you might not know all the steps. And so this is actually a really great assist for me to say, you might not know all the steps, but the ones you think you can do now. And now, when you take that step, it's a step in the right direction, and it's a step onward, and you don't need to worry about what is the step after that. If it's not clear to you, it's not clear to you, it's fine. Let's see if there's one more, and we will wrap. There we go. To be enlightened, lighten up. And can you see there's a tongue being stuck out? So try not to get too serious in this. I know we're all like, some of you got these real fixated goals and ambitions, and that's great, but enjoy life. Just enjoy where you are right now. Have fun, laugh, embrace nature, beauty, listen to music. We're here to have fun. We are here on earth to have fun. It's not supposed to be a miserable place. And if you think it's a miserable place, then there is some work to do, of course. But I'm pretty sure if you agree that the work needs to be done, you'll get to this point. And for some of you already can understand this, come on, make sure you bring in as much vibrancy into your day-to-day as possible. How can you lighten up about things? Don't take things so seriously. Just laugh it off. Don't take it personal. Don't let the resentment build, because it takes up space, and that's the space for your blessings to come in. So with that being said, I'm sending you lots of peace, love, light and abundance on this beautiful spring equinox and new moon in Aries. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye, Soul Tribe. Until the next time.